Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Grogpod Roguelike podcast, where each one of these we trap a game into a maze of criticism, loudly talk over one another with inane babble, and see if our ratings propel it to the magical fortress, the end of year roguelike playoff bracket. I am your holder of the mantle of order, Scott Berger, and with me are my scrappy band of bright-eyed hero co-hosts.
Ooh, barreling down the hall at you. It's Boulder Trap Andrew Harshman.
And this is Will Wright, but I wasn't represented in this game, so I'm just a nobody, I guess.
And I'm Colin, represented by a sexy lady with a laser wand.
This week we are talking Orcs Must Die! Deathtrap. Released January 28th, 2025 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and published and developed by one Robot Entertainment out of Dallas, Texas, who, if nothing else, you can say that they are consistent with their original 2011 debut release of Orcs Must Die, 2012, Orcs Must Die 2, 2017, Orcs Must Die Unchained, 2021, Orcs Must Die 3, and finally this year, 4 years later, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. Your average player of Orcs Must Die Deathtrap has about 31 hours of gameplay in it. And this launches the Orcs onto the popularity spectrum on our list here at the number 306th most popular roguelike game on Steam with 3,649 total reviews. Colin, what is your one-sentence hero quip about what one does in Orcs Must Die? Deathtrap.
Orcs Must Die! Exclamation point! Deathtrap is a hero shooter where you build a maze so that you can funnel the various orcs into a death trap where you massacre them with some roguelike elements.
Now, I want to kick off our discussion zone here with, in all caps, it's okay to like a game. All devs go to heaven. Because I have a feeling some people in Colin's parallel universe friend group will be listening to this. Oh boy, I can't wait. Can't wait for them to talk about this game that I really like and love.
And I've had so much fun playing with my good pal Colin.
But I want to start off with maybe the first thing that you see in this game, which is a easily, at least in my case, a easily skippable intro cinematic that I had to go back and rewatch because I was like, I thought I remember seeing something here. And I think this kind of sets the tone for what this game is and maybe our thoughts about it. Intro. The video starts. War mages of the Order, as you well know, with the defeat of the corrupted Rift Lord Volwick, the Orcs no longer fight united under a single banner. And your camera is panning across a bunch of heroes that look like something out of like one of those 90s math textbook covers with as many representations as possible, as broad spectrum as you could almost comically be, including a cat. And our narrator goes on to say, a great victory, yes, but our fight is far from over. And cut to some sort of exploding pink skeleton man. Now our enemies have splintered into 4 factions, each led by a powerful general seeking to be the next ultimate ruler of the orcs. And we're panning across presumably wanted posters that look like they have AI slop writing on them, with some goblin with a gun.
It's actually not AI slop. It's a real alphabet that you could translate.
It's oh dear. So we pan across some wanted posters, and I guess I'll back up. The art is actually pretty good here. But it is written in this kind of nonsense script. But you know, you got some wanted posters. Due to the infighting and competition, the orc armies have spread into the far reaches of Order territory, attacking rifts once thought to be safe. And we're cutting to big orcs with WoW-looking armor and big like clubs and stuff, and they're running through these very interesting looking environments. These rifts provide magic needed for our kingdoms to flourish, while the orcs use them to satisfy their hunger for flesh and zeal for conquest. Cue to burning buildings and burning seaside villages that otherwise would look very idyllic and peaceful. And cut back to some sort of lecture hall where our scrappy heroes, who to this point have said nothing, and this stern-looking lady walking back and forth saying, I have taken on the mantle of Order Master until Master Cygnus is found. A role much undeserved, but our alternatives are bleak. And smash cut to some doofy-looking Bobcat Goldthwait-looking guy playing a guitar. And as Master, I ask you, War Mages, to defeat these wannabe warlords and bring peace to the Order. Camera pans up into your cool-looking hero squad. In other words, title card, Orcs Must Die, Deathtrap.
I don't think I ever watched that.
So I was really excited to hear about this intro cutscene because I thought at last we will get an explanation about what these riffs are. And I still don't quite understand what is happening. Like, actually, let's maybe go around the horn. Like, what's our best guess? I am in my head canon, like I'm defending Helm's Deep, and like these portals are leading to some where all the refugees are going or something. That was my guess. Colin, you've actually played this game more than us. Do you know?
I actually probably know less about it because I haven't watched any of this. I have not done any work to figure out what the story is.
Okay.
When I started playing it with my other friends, I was even less. I was literally like clicking as fast as I could through everything so I could get into the game. I didn't watch any of the tutorials, any of the intros, and I've never gone back and watched any of them. But I put 38 hours into this game, so
wow.
But that's because Colin is so well versed in the lore from the previous Orcs Must Die games that he didn't need to know anything about.
Yeah, all of my lore knowledge comes from listening to them make their bad quips during the games where they talk about how now they can play ceiling traps.
Are the quips that bad?
Yes.
I feel like they were. Wow. Okay. I thought they were.
I think
fine.
they're actually getting worse with the updates. But when we were playing, they had like a really long. Every time you started a mission, there's a really long like speech between two of them.
Yeah,
which was not there when I played like a month ago, and I don't
recall,
think it's a welcome addition.
It seemed to recall during one of those. Will was like, "What are they talking about? What is it? What are they on about?" Like, you know,
well,
they're building.
The first time we played, it was me and Scott, and then, or me and Will, I don't remember who it was. And then one of you joined like 10 minutes later, so we had to restart it, and it said the same quip sequence. And then Andrew, you joined like 10 more minutes later, and they said the exact same quip sequence. But like, it's like a minute or two of talking in the beginning. And I was like, okay, this was fine the first time, but the third time is not great.
But
what's the name of the purple lady who's the headmistress of the Order?
I don't even know the name of the character.
Purple, another purple wizard? Are you telling me? Oh my gosh, we got.
I don't even know the name of the character that I've put 38 hours into.
All these games,
which shows you how much I care about the story, which is not at all, and only care about the compelling gameplay.
Well, okay, so maybe we shouldn't get too swept up by all this this business of the storyline. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, mechanically, this is a tower defense game, and you got to defend something. And in this case, we're defending a rift that was made by wizards, not to be confused with anything
blueprints.
Else. Not to be confused with blueprints. So true.
I'm reading the plot on the Wikipedia. Apparently, there are magical rifts between the human world and the dead world, which provide a source of magical power throughout both worlds.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I feel like this game has no problem with tell, don't show, especially with the fact that it's very generous in the aspect that it gives you the full ass history of this game in kind of like the main menu things of like, look up the enemies, the status effects, like there is like a lot of in-game detail about all the stuff in the game, which I know that we've been critical of some stuff in the past about. And so, yeah, if you want to read the 8-chapter long history of the Order from chapter 1 up to the present day, you sure as hell can do that. And there is a damn lot of text in there to go through. I'm not going to read any of it, but I was watching some of the cinematics, the story cinematics from I think it was Orcs Must Die 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, this seems interesting. Where was this? Where was all this stuff in this game? Uh, and so I think like the fact that this is
I think maybe the series got marvelized. Like they decided we need more quips. We need more it's a barrel of fun because I'm the character who places barrels. Although she does have a line, she does have a Starship Troopers reference. I don't know if y'all caught that. I'm doing my part.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate, and then all the orcs go ha 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 ha. So there's more meaningful substance. There are whatever the word is. There are cinematics of substance, fine quality kino in the previous games. Interesting.
Yeah,
we should talk about, before we get too deep on the story stuff, we should talk about like what the game actually is, though.
Oh sure.
No.
I mean,
and like what happens in a typical game.
Great question. Yeah, is this, you said it was a hero shooter, is this even a 3-dimensional game? What is this?
I mean, it is 3-dimensional. There are multiple
no, I understand.
stairs.
But for the listeners, we haven't described what the game looks like. To your point, Colin.
I feel like hero shooter implies third dimension. It's Overwatch at home.
We have Overwatch third person perspective, though. That's it's not over the shoulder. It's just third person. And
what is this? What is he talking about? Not over the shoulder. All right.
That's the difference between like what is it, Gears of War and that style.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can see more of your character. All right.
It's like where's the camera relative to the person? It's behind and it's looking down at them.
Right. That's an important distinction.
Maybe not, but you know what? I said it anyway. So
I was trying to be smart ass.
I played this exclusively as a multiplayer game. So between 2 and 4 people, you start on a map, and the orcs are spawning at various gates and marching their way towards your rift, and the gates more open as the waves progress.
More paths. The stream.
And you have various barricades to funnel them into different choke points, or kill boxes, if you will, where you place traps, or shoot them with your own specific character weapons. So in my experience, it's about 50-50 for where the damage comes from.
And we got every type of trap. We're talking about spike traps. We're talking about other types of spike traps. We're talking about saw blades. We're talking about lasers.
So giant stone lion heads that spit out clanking bombs.
Wonderful Looney Tunes springboards that send the orcs flying into
crystals that shoot laser, like solar lasers.
And more to unlock, which I didn't really realize that there were quite a few unlocks in different things that you can build.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that the 3 of you didn't really interact with because you didn't like the game enough to continue playing it. But there are a lot of like meta progression upgrades. You can make all of your traps better. You can make your character much better. Like when did you notice when we played that I had like twice as much health as you?
Oh,
I did notice that. Yeah,
that's because my character is maxed out.
My oh my! Now this is a gameplay combination, sort of a mechanic combination that has existed for a while, and it's a good idea. It's like, hey, tower defense, popular, addictive, people like it. But sometimes it can be a little boring. What if you make a tower defense? What if your maze, which somebody said maze earlier. I don't know how maze-like these setups are, at least in my limited experience of this game. It's
funnel.
Kind of tiny, funnel. But what are you to do with your extra time? How do you get some more engagement? Well, of course, you, in addition to placing all of your traps and your walls, you get to actually be on the ground fighting, which is fun and nifty and novel and pretty well executed in this game. So well executed that they've made infinite number of entries in this series.
No, I think that's where you went wrong. Actually, the the third person perspective, where you're going in there and actually contributing to the fight. That's where they went wrong. That was the big mistake of this whole entire series, and I can see how someone might think it's innovative because no one's done it, but no one's done it because it's not a
Third
fun
dimension was a mistake, and a player
It's
character
not
was a
that the
mistake.
third dimension was a mistake. It's the you are on the like you hit play, like you think about Bloons Tower Defense. Everyone's played, well, people played that game. It's a popular game. You're sitting there and like the balloons are going down and you're placing towers and that's your job. In this case, you're placing the things and then you're hitting go and then you're still like in the maze, so to speak. And yeah, that's where it really loses a lot of its fun, at least for me, because yeah, that kind of game is just it's no good. It's a game that's focused more on the precision and timing rather than judgment, and that's good.
You hear that, Colin's friends, Colin's better friends? They're no good. This game is no good, and you should feel bad for playing it.
So you know what the real problem was? Is that we never got a good physics trap run going, which is the most enjoyable part of this game. Is when you we talked about spike traps, we talked about acid and lava and whatnot, but we didn't talk about minecarts barreling down hallways, just absolutely bowling their way through everything, steam traps launching people into the abyss. Just good, wholesome Looney Tunes fun.
So what I'm hearing is not the part where you're on the ground shooting things, but the traps part. That's the fun part. Is that right?
I mean, it's all fun.
Oh, well, there's something to consider though. I realize, well, it's not for everybody. This particular game, as I think we might learn over the course of this episode.
It might perhaps only be for one of us.
But it allows a group of pals to play the game together. So that's kind of fun.
No, there should be no games that are not fun that I don't approve of. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think it's probably
it is fair. I'm a very fair dictator. Yes.
Now, there's an often a saying that I repeat to myself a lot when I compare podcast download numbers to other shows, that comparison is the theft of joy, and that
I've never heard you say this before in your life.
That's a great self-deprecation.
He says it to himself.
Oh yeah, and that comparing, where was I going with this? I think that like there's an aspect of like this game existing as its own kind of thing, and then there's comparing it to other stuff. And I think like I'm having like it's a me problem of like, man, like it's really hard for me to just kind of take this as its own thing, because it feels like there have been a number of roguey games that we've played that have come out this year that have tried, like they've taken an existing franchise and put the rogue spin on it to a really good success. And there's also the comparison here to previous Orcs Must Die games, which I guess full disclosure, I don't think any of us have played those.
I have not, but my other friends have played them.
Yeah. So I can see how if you were like a big OMD head, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's been 4 years. We finally get another OMD game. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Let me go wait in line out in front of the GameStop. But don't stand in too much of a line because you might get hit by a prism laser.
Exactly. And so previous Orcs Must Die games have had a very like traditional linear campaign. You replay maps with like traditional linear campaign compared to this, which is like you're replaying kind of the same maps with different modifiers to them. And at the end of and crucially at the end of each level wave in this game, mission? Jesus. What did I write down?
Waves, right?
Well, there's six waves per mission. And at the end of each mission,
my mistake,
you can gamble forward to say, oh, yes, this experience that I've gained so far in this run, I can either bank it now and go back to the main hub castle and unlock some more goodies, or in classic rogue fashion, you can gamble it forward and see, well, this next higher difficulty of mission that I will do, which is 6 waves of enemies, will have compounding factors to it. So like, you start your first mission, orcs have like 20 plus 20% move speed or something. That carries forward into the next mission where, all orcs are on fire and have acid breath or whatever, that kind of thing. So it's like, it's this compounding difficulty system there. as compared to the previous games where it's just like, oh, now you're on a new map. You have
I will say that, like, you say, oh, they're 20% faster. I think that generally they're more impactful than that. Like,
Oh yeah.
like one of them is you don't respawn if you die,
sure,
which is
or
like
or
deeply
you got
impactful.
like two. I got one recently that was 2 fire elementals spawn per wave, or higher likelihood of rifts opening where some enemies might pour out of a random spawn zone and things of that nature. So yeah, to this game's credit, it definitely has like impactful modifiers and impactful perks and impactful I don't know, projectiles, I guess.
There's also, I think what we're describing, or there's distortions where they're each level having like debuffs, like increased trap prices, like stronger enemies, and yeah, so those things kind of stack in succession. And then there's threads, which is your standard like pick one from three boon system. Some of them are curses, and that kind of like helps to give your build identity as you're going through this. And 4-player co-op, like we mentioned, like the previous entries only had 2-player. And I think the 4-player here is quite interesting, as we'll get into in a minute. The maps here are larger, but there's fewer of them. I think maybe designed with 3 to 4-player co-op in mind. And what else? I guess in Orcs Must Die 3, you could change weapons on your heroes, but there was like a much lower selection of heroes available. Whereas here, the weapons and spells are fixed, but you kind of like upgrade. You have your upgrade tree per war mage, not hero, I should say. And then yeah, you are progressing through 6 waves in a mission, and then a number of missions to defeat a boss, and that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you can like gamble forward. I feel like that is a kind way of them saying, we'll let you abandon your run here and get some loot, or you can keep going in the regular. Like, if this was I mean, I think that's largely because it is a multiplayer game. You need a way to like say, hey, we gotta call this game now because my kids are yelling or something. Which, yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I feel like this game is simultaneously like the art in it is very good, but the aesthetic is
high
very
quality.
bad.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And so what I mean by that, and like I think we've kind of talked about this on the podcast before, is like the artistic vision and like design of it, like the actual like technical implementation of it, like the animations look great. I think like the heroes, like the detail on the heroes themselves is very well, like it's not like bad, but at the same time it's just like so generic, I guess. I don't know, like
a little bit.
We don't need Overwatch. We have Overwatch at home.
Yes, I wrote down Timu Avengers, but that maybe
yeah, or yeah, there you
go. I think the hero design is probably the best part, but but the enemies and the environments are a little I don't know. It's all very like let's try to. It feels like they're trying to select a aesthetic that is established and that some people seem to like, and it's kind of generic, but it's like a safe bet. Like, let's do the World of Warcraft stylized, borderline cartoony, big shoulder pad choice.
I think it's a combination of that, which is like that's not like my preferred aesthetic, which is fine. It works for some people, that's great. But the game, like right off the bat, just like it almost felt like deliberately alienating. Of like,
oh,
hey, welcome to Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. As you know from all this stuff that's already happened, I'm not going to bother to explain anything. And like none of your characters have any personality from like the first 5 minutes of the game that I played, which I feel like is.
I feel like that's not true. They have too much personality, but it's only it's in the form of
catchphrases,
one-line quips that they say many times.
Right. And like compared to the like the cinematic video that I was watching from, I think it was Orcs Must Die 3 or 2, I don't know. It's the one where like The two teens are like running around, and the headmistress like shows up as an orc and is like, if I was a real orc, I would have eaten you by now. And they have like animation and personality to them. It feels like one of those like original Pixar or DreamWorks movies that still had soul in them before it just got like meat ground out of it. And in this one, like I don't get any of that. Like this intro cinematic does nothing. And crucially, it made me doubly mad when to even start the level select for this game, you have to go and do Max's lessons or his his intro stuff, which
I'm sorry, Max as a character, rough. Like take him back, redesign him. Thankfully, the videos, his tutorial videos are to the point. None of this barony crap where you got to play through these very difficult, long 9 tutorials, folks. These are snappy. They deliver the information, but like, I was like just rolling my eyes and cringing really hard through all of Max. It's kind of this like, I mean, honestly, here's why I was cringing so hard. He's kind of the same archetype that I am, which is like long-haired, like kind of rocker guy. And like at one point he said a catchphrase that I unironically say myself. And I was like, no, I'm looking to this horrible mirror game. Why have you cursed me with this horrid visage? But yeah, you got to do Max's lessons, which thankfully don't take that long.
They don't take that long, and I was glad that they were there to explain stuff because Colin was doing his damnedest, but there was like 3 of us asking him questions at all times. The characters were like quipping over each other. There was like psychic talk between Max and Gabriella, the headmistress.
Oh, Gabriella, like, that's the name.
Just like it was too much. It was too much. So it simultaneously felt like okay, but also really annoying to go and watch these tutorial videos before you could do level select, which I can get. Like I feel conflicted about it, but you go into Max's lessons and it's like combos, a video explaining combos, threads, a video explaining threads, and I'm just like, boy, they really swung for the fences on this one, didn't they? They had 4 years to put some
and
kind
just
text in
like
there.
the description of the video that you're about to watch.
Yeah, and that's not to say that there's like not text in the game, but it just felt like really, I mean, it like again comparison theft of joy, but like our previous episode, Dead Zone Rogue, that we just did, that was a game that was like a hot dumpster fire. They repivoted hard to make it into a rogue type game, and it was like you could tell they put like a whole ass worth of effort into it. This feels like very like almost not even half ass, like 25% ass.
Now, of course, I have not played a half of an ass. I haven't played the previous games, but most of the time we're talking about games that have been like it's a game, a franchise, or a particular style of game that has been made better with rogue elements. And yeah, from what you're describing, Scott, I kind of agree. It sounds like it's almost been made worse with rogue elements. Maybe not specifically because of the roguedom, but like when you mentioned that the previous games are like bespoke levels, that feels more interesting from like a puzzling tower defense, like solve the tower puzzle perspective. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
all
too
the
sure
levels
about this
are
one.
all the levels in this game are the bespoke. They're not rogue. They're not procedurally generated.
Right. And I think that's fine.
No. Sure. But what I mean is that like it sounds more interesting to me from a player perspective.
Yeah, they could build more of a story around it because they
more of a story, and also like with specific like design intention, like, oh, we want the player to have to like puzzle this one out and figure out what is an optimal strategy for this particular level layout, and then let's go to the next one and blah 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 blah. But I don't know.
Yeah, and like the part that also kind of did me in as far as like, oof, this game kind of feels like they phoned it in, was like I went through a solo run. Like I was motivated enough to go through a solo run and be like, okay, there's got to be something here. Do all the 3 missions as the crossbow twink war mage Van or Vaughn? Van my homeboy Van carrying me through, and I beat the first boss. I beat Jin from the Rejuvenator, And I was like, okay, great. Like that final boss like actually felt kind of like a tense
Nice.
battle.
Nice.
But and so I'm like, okay, great. Beat the one of the four bosses. All right, now we're gonna start to get some traction in terms of like something going on here to like hook me. And so I'm like, all right, I get dumped back into central castle zone, run up to Gabriella, the headmistress. I'm like, hey, I did it. I beat one of the four bosses. And she's just kind of like ignoring me, looking at her books on the shelf, of just like, yes, okay, that's nice. Uh, and there wasn't like any dialogue or like advancement of narrative or anything.
Mm.
Which again, comparing to like the previous games, there's a lot of that. Like there's a lot of personality and like interesting humor and like animation and just like stuff there. And I had to take a step back and like, where did the 4 years go? Like I can
Right,
understand why
Mhm.
like this game got raked over the coals when it
Oh, it
launched.
did.
Yeah, like I think
Much like the orcs themselves, raked over
yeah.
the coals.
I think the fans of previous Orcs Must Die games were maybe not expecting a rogue type game here.
Uh,
That's not to say that, those kinds of games can't be good. Elden Ring, Night Rain. Uh, but it's just kind of stuff like that that just feels like where's like the soul that was in like the previous ones. It'd be like if like Time Splitters 5 came out and it was a roguelite and it didn't have like any of the animation or interesting like stuff from the previous Time Splitters games. That was kind of the vibe that I got.
Hmm.
And so it was like, all right, well, if this game is giving me nothing, I don't feel motivated to do anything for it.
Interesting.
I feel
Yeah,
like
but I mean, oh yeah, go ahead.
having not played the previous entries in the game, I did not feel that sense of betrayal.
True.
Sure.
And for me, I feel like this game has really it has hit that floor for me that exists where it falls below the threshold of story for me to engage in, and therefore I just have ejected it from my brain entirely. And I forget that there is a story that exists. Like I'm judging this game
Sure.
purely off of the gameplay that I had, not even with you guys.
Right, and like we've been ragging on this game for a while now. I mean, come on, people, we're not here to discuss. Well, I guess we have been, but we're not necessarily here to discuss the legacy, the hollowed legacy of the Orc Must Die franchise, which a little weird to name your franchise. Like the franchise is just a call to ethnic cleansing, so that's a little worrisome. But putting that aside,
the meta currencies for the game are skulls.
Are skulls, bro.
They're skulls.
So that's
so
okay.
Just remember that you're like. Also, there was when I was reading about in the Wikipedia about this franchise in general, it does talk about how they are using this power. The Order is able to maintain a perfect world for humanity. And like, are we the baddies in this? I feel like this language is a little awkward here, but like. That the orcs from the dead lands are trying to get into our perfect human world, like, ugh.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great. Furthermore, I'm rather worried to hear earlier, at the very beginning of the podcast, we talked about how the rifts apparently are some kind of power source. So like human and elf and bear kind are like holding all the resources, like, and the orcs are just trying to get at it. I think there might be a different angle. There's two sides to every story, but anyway, again.
Yeah, where's the alternative Humans Must Die game?
Yeah, which I mean, hey, I feel like we deserve it.
Speaking as a vegan, literally called
especially. That. But to be clear, I mean, come on, this isn't what people are coming to this game for. They're coming for a fun multiplayer experience, right? So we should probably discuss maybe a little bit more about the gameplay. But before we do that, I do want to heap some praise on the game's characters and story. I appreciate a diverse cast. We got a lot of representation here right out of the gate, unlocked. We got people of color. We got white people. We got robot people. We got bears. We got twinks. We got furries. We got scalies.
Where's the will though? Where is the will?
I'm talking about.
Which character is me? I looked at every. I
tried. You're the twink.
The elf twink. I mean, he has your haircut.
I feel like that doesn't fit. I feel like the bear. Maybe. There's the little girl with the shotgun. I like a shotgun, but
the girl with the shotgun. That's true.
No, but she's.
But just to finish out, to round out my list,
girl.
Harlow, is it? Harlow, I very much
Yeah.
appreciate it because she has a blunderbuss, which is great. We love a good shotgun. But yeah, this game has a lot of people, a lot of character designs. Of course, troll boys, good dragons, bad dragons, milfs, dilfs, and of course, wilfs. Not to be confused with our co-host, but that of course stands for war mage. I'd like to fireball. But legitimately, it's nice to be living in the modern era where you can fire up a multiplayer game, and you can see a fair good bit of representation. Will, maybe if you unlock like the guy with the streak of gray in his hair, he's a quality looking, fit cis white male that might appeal to you.
You could play as Max. He's got a white man with a square jaw and a fine head of hair.
No, I don't care about any of those things. I don't care about race. I don't care about gender. I don't care about any of that crap. I just want someone who doesn't say annoying shit. And they all are super fucking annoying. And that's my biggest complaint. I can't play this game and hear their little like one-liner. They're one-liners.
Bazinga!
They're just saying bazinga all the time to each other. And that's my experience of the game. And I just can't. I don't care what the gameplay is. Yeah. If you poison a game with that shit, I can't play it.
Right. Yeah, no, and we need to address this. There needs to be, at the beginning of a game, like in the same way that like you adjust the brightness and the contrast, there needs to be a setting like how much do you want to hear from these annoying characters? And there needs to be a
catchphrase frequency.
But you see, like
animation half joking.
But you're given such good information from these quips. From things like a barricade will keep them out, or maybe Sophie's right. There's a beauty in death. I have that highlighted saying, fucking who? Like, so what?
Sophie's the cat.
All right, sorry, but I've plunged back into us taking the piss out of this this game's
well-deserved
writing.
Well-deserved.
I mean, you can't forget,
again,
the most important quip though is if you can still see the floor, you haven't placed enough floor traps, because that's both good writing and good advice.
It's good writing, good advice, and it's also good life advice, good life, good daily acclamation, confirmation. What is it where you stare in the mirror? Never mind, doesn't matter. Moving on. So what is the draw of this game, Colin? Tell us about it, because I mean, it's definitely fun to be had.
Draw of this game is that you can play it with your friends. It doesn't require like other people to be online. I mean, for me, it's been kind of like a Rocket League type thing
too.
I don't care about people who don't play on PC.
Oh man,
I don't. I mean, I guess perhaps it is cross-platform. I wouldn't know.
All non-PC gamers must die. That's Colin's next game.
They don't need to die. I just don't care if they live or die.
We just need to harvest their precious skulls for currency.
As long as they're staying in the Deadlands, I don't care what they do.
Well, we can't harvest
come into my perfect human world that I get mad.
We can't harvest their brains, obviously. So skulls.
Oh wow! That's the guy who's making a mobile.
Bazinga!
No, I like the
we kid, we joke.
I think it's a fun, silly time. It doesn't necessarily take too much deep strategic thought. But you can like blast some stuff. It's good multiplayer without having to be competitive. The difficulty scaling is pretty decent. It's not just easy, medium, and hard. It's basically, you can set it from, I don't really know, it's like 1x to 3x skull reward points. I don't know how that scales exactly the difficulty. I think it's just more damage that they do and more hit points that they have.
Yeah, but where's the sophisticated squad AI for the orcs? No, I'm joking. Yeah, and
they definitely do not have that.
Right.
Some of them are archers and they can shoot at you from a distance. That's annoying every once in a while.
And this game has gnolls. Love a good gnoll. Famously,
it does have gnolls that come hunt you for sport.
I played a gnoll barbarian. Love to see a gnoll, a purple gnoll. I've never seen that before. Now that is innovative game design. No, but to your point, Colin, like it's once this game has quite a bit of spectacle, and it feels good to see the horde of orcs coming to invade, and you've got all of your 4 players blasting away and hacking and slashing, and all your traps set up, and seeing the ragdolls flying and the gibs a gibbon. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that this is something that we don't, because of the way that we play games for this podcast, which is we play them for like 2 weeks and then never look at them again. We definitely do get a different-ish view. I think that there are a lot of games that we have played that, if we just sat down and were like, I'm going to just play a bunch more hours of this, you would get good enjoyment out of it. And this has just kind of ended up being a game that I've played because it's a game that we're playing. And it doesn't take any time to learn.
And what a ringing endorsement!
Enjoy, yeah. I mean, but I feel like there was a vast.
Sure.
It really is. It's an example of a lot of the games that we've played where we didn't really go that much more in depth after we were done playing them. Where it is fun, and if you have any other kind of reason to keep playing it, then you do. Like I have social, not pressure, but social momentum to play this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, want to play video game for 45 minutes at like starting at 10:15 at night because all of their kids are put to bed, and this is the like weird time I can squeak out some gameplay. I do not want to play a hardcore game online where we have to like be competitive. It's just like I want to like chill with my friends and blow up some orcs in a silly fun time.
Sure.
I mean that. And I think that you could get that out of a lot of games, but not necessarily a lot of the games that we're playing on the podcast, because not so many of them are multiplayer, but some of them are. And I think that you could pick, I mean, some of the other multiplayer games we've played, I think, what's the, Streets of Rogue? Was that the one where we like aped out? Like, I could see something like that being the other game we played where it's like, all right, we're just gonna like ape out for a while or just run around and like cause mayhem, and like you do it because you have the momentum and because you know how to play it. It's fun in that sense.
Yeah, I can 100% see this being like a social hangout game that like, you've fired up the bong, you're done for the weekend, you're just like, you know what, I don't really want to memorize all these complex Elden Ring mechanics. I just want to like watch like the ragdoll animations fly around.
The anti-beard scratch.
Yes.
Quite possibly. Now, I was listing off all the wonderful, infinitely dateable and attractive characters in this game. But there was one that was missing. Does anyone know? I mean, aside from a mohawk wielder.
A dog character?
Yeah, I guess there's not a dog character. There needs to be a dog character. No, there's no sexy, swole orc lady waifu, which is a real shame. So hopefully they add that with some DLC. Hey, I wanted to ask everybody.
No, orcs are enemies, not friends.
They're not friends. I wanted to ask, the orc. Oh man, what an iconic archetype of a character. What do we think of the portrayal of orcs in this game? And furthermore, if you have a favorite type of orc, I'd love to hear about it.
For me, like, it just felt like the tidal wave of enemies at a certain point just became this like gray mass of stuff that was just happening that like I couldn't immediately tell why I should care about some versus others. And I think there's some of them that do stand out, like the guys with like the big shields. I was like, oh, I gotta do something to focus fire that guy down.
And then we're talking about a big shield. Like this is however large a shield you're
twice
imagining.
As tall as you are.
4 times. Yeah.
And then there's some flyer enemies, but to me, it didn't feel like there was any one of them that stood out of like, oh shit, it's that guy. And I gotta like outside of the boss, it was like I really gotta like focus on taking that guy right there down, at least for me.
My favorite is just the normal non-ranged orc. Mostly because the character I play as has a charm ultimate, and she could just charm things that are around her. And when like a lot of the enemies have voice lines and little quips that they do, but you don't really hear them in the like mass confusion of the game. But once they're charmed, they just are sitting around doing their weird voice lines, and they've got a couple that are like they look kind of funny.
Are any of them work?
I mean, they're on that level. I don't think it's exactly. I don't think they have verbatim stolen any Warcraft quotes, but they've got a little bit of charm and like to them. So I like them. and they just kind of sit around, and then of course when the next like group of enemies come in, they get absolutely pummeled. So you know you have a little time to hear their quips, but not that long.
Rip to our orc heroes. I'm very fond of the serious orc is great. We love a serious, gritty Urukai, imposing, intimidating, grimdark type of well, let's say grim. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I love the kind of goofy, bombastic, like Warhammer 40,000 orc that is just like really out there and wild. Like there's an iconic 40k orc called Gazgul Thraka, I think is his name. And he is like one of the most powerful orcs because in his early orcdom, he was shot in the head and some like mad orc doctor took him and was trying to like trying to heal him. And was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save him, but like, let me just put this like random piece of like metal, this like computer chip like into his brain and see what happens. And like that sort of like supercharged his intellect, and he was able to become like this giant mech robot wearing like general but also still badass dude. I kind of feel like this game is too in the middle. Like I wish the orcs were wackier, or I wish they were more serious. And I feel like it's kind of this in between that doesn't please anybody, at least me personally.
I mean, I would just put them in the too wacky category. They all
there are okay, fair enough.
They all just seem like extremely cartoony and not intimidating in the slightest, and kind of lame. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, like... the more Urukai, the Lord of the Rings style, like actual like, hey, like something that looks fierce. That'd be great. These guys just look like a bunch of lame cartoons that are appeal to the like I don't know what mobile app gamers playing Clash or one of these shitty like little game. I mean, it feels like that's what we're looking at here.
All right, question for you, Will, or really for all three of you. If you could flick a switch and like in the beginning of this game, there was like do you want Urukai mode or do you want like high orc mode? How much better is the game for you? Is gritty looking.
2 points immediately.
Wow.
If it was grittier?
Wait, do we also turn off the sound of the annoying characters saying the annoying things? In fact, do we just like reskin all the characters?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's every single part of it's exactly the same. Zero changes mechanically.
Oh yeah, no, this game.
But you're playing as like I don't know, Grogthar Skullhammer, the dwarf man with a blunderbuss instead.
No joke. This game could. For me, anyways, given the rating, I'll go into it a bit. Like gain 2 or 3 points easily from just that choice. Yeah,
if it was just a little edgier, more serious.
Right now, how annoying these characters and the design of everything, it hurts me. It actively makes me feel negative emotions, and so that's Colin, 2 or 3 points easily. I think a lot of the core gameplay. I love tower defense games. I don't really so much love third-person shooter, sort of things. I can sometimes tolerate it, but in a multiplayer game, that could be like overlooked if we're having fun with the guys, but not here. No.
I often have the test of like, okay, if you stripped away all of the flavor from this game and you only had mechanics left, how would you rate the game then? Rarer is it? I'd rate it better.
I mean, I feel like the art direction in this game is it has a very distinct and strong style to it. It feels phoned in compared to like the previous games. Again, like I feel weird saying that as someone who has spent 0 minutes playing any of the other games, but it just felt like it has no direction to it from like a game narrative perspective. Like I can deal with annoying characters if there's like a reason why they're annoying. Like I enjoyed playing Bear Man. Like he was fun to play. I didn't really notice his lines being super annoying. Twink Boy with the crossbow was annoying. I didn't play enough with the cat who's an exact doppelganger of my cat, who also thirsts for death.
It definitely didn't help that Will played as the most annoying character, which is the girl with the shotgun.
Well, but at the same time, I played as at least a few over the course of it. It was the bear, the twink, and the shotgun girl.
We're really honest.
I got the diversity here.
If there was like, I don't know, like a cutscene or like interactions with like, if the other characters are just kind of like hanging out in like the Great Hall and you could go up and just like talk to them. They don't need like big elaborate animations, but you could just like give them something to do. They're just like cut out like cardboard, like wooden, soulless. Like there's nothing behind those eyes. They're just like dead robots that have like no personality. And like I think that's the reason why they're annoying is because like why do I care about these heroes? Like I don't care about these heroes. I don't care about this world at all.
It's the
Like
Hall of Presidents where they're just speaking the lines from a mechanical body.
exactly. It is like a
Now that would raise the game a few points in my book if the characters were all American presidents.
that's something. It's something versus like
Activate
HDT1,
your
HDT2.
Your Bill Clinton saxophone alt. Quit serenade the
that'd be the character I play, which charms the orcs.
There you yeah, exactly. Perfect. Oh, yeah, this idea might have legs. What's the legality
I feel
surrounding...
like this game is already questionable on like people trying to get into a place. I don't know if we could do this with presidents.
Oh, ooh, boy. Yeah, okay, fair point. But Teddy Roosevelt would be a pretty fun character. All right.
Yeah, he turned into bear form.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Who's to say the bear in this game is not already Teddy Roosevelt?
Yo.
Colin, you spent way more time than us playing this game. What are your thoughts on the meta progression trees in this?
I think they're pretty well. No, the meta progression is fine. I think the rogue progression within the missions is pretty decent. In that it like does funnel you into a certain type of strategy that can be pretty different from run to run. The meta progression, I don't think it is it's not super impactful. You basically your character just gets better without too much, especially like once I've maxed out the character that I play with. Eventually you get all the things. There are no choices to be made. There's choices in the middle where you're like, do I want more health or do I want like this thing or like there's one that's like eventually you can just like get another trap. You just bring one more trap with you to start with, which is pretty amazing. But like it's one of the I feel like it happens in a lot of games where once you make the choices on how you want to progress in the middle, but then by the time you get to the end, you just unlock all of the things.
And I feel like maybe to pivot off of that, one sort of major criticism that I have about this game's roguiness design is the fact that you can like go into a mission with like a preset loadout of what traps you have. And then you can just like, as far as I can tell, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can just like change out those traps at any time, right?
Once you start the mission, you can't, but between missions you can.
Right.
Right.
So like once you start another, like you're in the, once you start the castle level, you're staying with the things, but then once you go to the like docks level, you can switch out your traps. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it would be a better game if they did like, okay, you're picking your traps. Some are banned, some are blessed.
Mm-hmm.
So it encourages you to mix up your stuff. And I think there's like some weird potions you can get later that like randomize your trap, which makes it different. But
Scott, I think are you specifically talking about the trap layout you have built? You can in between waves, like just completely rebuild it, correct?
No. I actually do kind of like that aspect a lot.
Never mind.
I think what I'm getting at is like you go in with like a set I don't know, like what, like seven or eight.
Yeah, I bring basically the same traps every run.
Right. Yeah. It never felt to me like there was a particular forcing mechanism of like, oh shit, the rogue gods have rolled the die, and I've been given this trap that I've never used before. Well, let's see what happens with this. Oh, I was pleasantly surprised about how this thing interacted with that thing. Now I know that like that kind of synergy exists. It didn't feel like I was particularly motivated to try that. And in fact, like maybe actually disincentivized because like each of the traps has like their own upgrade like system to it. And I wound up just being like, oh yeah, I'll buy this the ceiling mounted ice turret. Sure, why not? That one looks pretty cool. And it does like all the traps like look pretty cool and they do cool stuff. But I was like, oh, well, I have all these skulls. I guess I don't know, I'll just dump them into this one ice trap that I bought. And just like, I just went very vertical with my upgrade path. And then I was like, well, it's like, I don't really have an incentive to, to like pick any other trap. So I just went all in on the ice lance. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to build around this and just start to try to funnel everyone into ceiling zones. Um, and I don't know, like I felt like I wish I could have been more restricted in my options and to have those options like pivoted on the boons and twine things. What are they? No, threads that you pick up
Yeah.
that change how those things operate.
Yeah, really it's the other way around. The threads get picked by what traps you've used.
Right.
So
it's almost totally backwards. But Andrew, to your point, I think that and I've been dumping on this game pretty hard, but in my solo run, I was like pretty pretty glad and impressed that it kind of forced me to change up my trap placement strategy. And when we were multiplaying on the underground sewer map, I think Colin, you were trying your damnedest to try to herd the three other cats into strategizing of like, no, 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 you got to put your barricades over here and you got to do this thing. When I was playing solo, I was like, okay, I have all of the barricade amount available just allocated to myself, and I can do whatever I want at my own pace here. And I was funneling them down on one hallway, and then like a door opened up. I'm like, oh, they're gonna come from that direction. Let's like tear everything down and rebuild this way. I thought that was good. I kind of wish that there was a more punishing timer to it of like you gotta stay on your feet. You gotta like you can't just take all day here. There seemed to be lacking some kind of pressure there.
I think 4 players is probably too many. The more players you have, the more you literally have less total barricades.
Well, per person.
That's fewer. I'm not out there.
Your barricades are literally less. They're small.
Yep.
No, you have fewer total. Like all combined, you have less.
Is that true? I thought it was that you.
Yeah, like if you've got like it's like 1 or 2 fewer per person in total.
Wow, I thought it was just distributed equally among them.
No, I think it's a little bit to like try and offset the fact that you have another actual person shooting at stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And you have to coordinate, which means you have to coordinate much better.
Teamwork. What?
Like, yeah, it was definitely like me trying to herd 3 people. Be like, okay, could you just put your trap, put it here, put it.
Huh?
What? No, you put it in the wrong spot. No, I'm just gonna delete your barricades for a bit.
What do you mean sell? Like what? Where?
And also just it gets more chaotic.
I fell in the pit.
I think 2 or 3 is probably the best. Like 2 players, you get not quite double the traps, but a fair bit more traps between the 2 of you. You get a little bit more like coordination. You can pick each other up. So if you die, you don't just die. So you have that element of like, I'm down, come pick me up kind of thing, which I think is interesting.
I was also like relying on Night Ring muscle memory of like, oh, Colin's down, I'll just shoot him to get him back. Oh, that's right. I have to walk over to him and press the F key.
Yeah, well, and usually, especially you playing as a melee character, it was always like, oh, it's pretty rough picking you up because you're in the thick of it. I think 4 is probably too many. 3 is great, relatively.
And the single player experience is decent. What I really enjoyed about it was that, of course, you had complete free reign over the design of your death trap. And the actual, for someone who doesn't especially like tower defense games, I enjoyed the tower defense building aspect of this game.
Would like if Rogue Tower was a third-person shooter and you were running around on like the board shooting stuff, would that be better?
How do you think I would answer that, Scott?
Oh man,
you would say no because Rogue Tower needed more WoW furries in it to really
hell
shine.
Yeah.
You know how I know Rogue Tower has good music and this game doesn't? Is I can't think of a single song from this And when you just said the words Rogue Tower, the music started playing in my head. I haven't played that for months.
Yep.
It's like, all right, get some harpsichord in here, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the soundtrack to Rogue Tower is maybe more memorable.
Yeah.
I think like and it's like good. Like the music to Rogue Tower is good. I think the music in this game is actually pretty good also. Yeah, you laugh. I was going through, I'm like, okay, well, I've got to play this episode.
I literally do not know if it has music in it. I have no memory of there being music.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I'm sure that there is. I probably would recognize it if I started the game up, but
there is a lot of audio stuff happening constantly in multiplayer. And like if you're on Discord and shouting about like, no, you got to run over here and do this thing. Like, yeah, you could easily mistake this game for not having any soundtrack to it. But when I was playing solo, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's got like a pretty like decently good, at least from my uncultured metal ears, a pretty good metal soundtrack from what I could tell. And I was like, like it was noticeably interesting from my perspective. But I don't know, Andrew, did you pick up our resident metalhead? Did you pick up?
You wouldn't say that. You poser. Let me tell you about real metal, real true cult metal. No, I appreciated that it was that it had that metal flair to it. I don't know if it necessarily matches the game. There's one of my favorite subgenres of metal is power metal, which is characterized by usually having soaring falsetto vocals and fantasy themes and very melodic. Oftentimes they're singing about like we recently went and saw the band Rhapsody of Fire, great name, and all their song titles are crazy stuff like Holy Thunder Force and Village of Dwarves and like
Emerald
the Final
Sword.
Apocalypse. So yes, of course we've got to go for the Emerald Sword. Anyway, I find myself often defending this genre and be like, it's not corny. People say it's corny. That's the often the refrain. I'm like, it's epic. It's awesome. It's great. It makes you feel fantastic and good and upbeat. And anyway, the way this game like looks is like is how I imagine people who don't like power metal think it's corny. Like this game is kind of corny, and the music, I don't know, didn't feel like it matched. But I appreciate it.
I have a terrible confession to make.
Oh,
the music that popped into my head when you said Rogue Tower was actually the soundtrack from Orcs Must Die and not from Rogue Tower.
Oh,
so wow. Apparently I'm a bad person. And I have to rescind all the things I said about the music.
Colin, I'm so worried you were going to chime in with some insult to power metaldom. That is funny. Okay, so maybe the music's a little better than we thought.
Yeah, all right. I'm full of shame. I'm glad that I realized this during the podcast so I could fully shame myself on time.
Well, for the record, the Rogue Tower music did pop into my head. But anyway, all this
Rogue Tower music is good.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty good music. Sadly, you'd think I would have like taken the time to actually listen to it. I didn't because I was busy. I've been busy trying to cram for a music festival. I'm trying to listen to all the bands that are going to be present there. But hey, Skyburger, if you say it's good music, then I tend to agree.
If you think it's good, then it's good. That is the rule with music. And no matter what anyone else tells you, if you like it, then it's good.
Unless it's hard bop jazz.
I mean, no. You're right. You are 100% right, but you're wrong because I mean, like, it's nobody likes bebop jazz from 1960s, early or late 1950s. Nobody likes that.
It's okay to like bebop jazz. All bases.
It's the rogue music.
All
like
Minguses go to heaven.
Then you're a nobody, really.
What else? Let's see. Voice acting is awful. Colin and his Bizarro friend group.
we haven't spent any time on that, but we don't need to because we've all agree. And it's just annoing.
I like how casually
do we have a list?
You just say it like it's a fact that we don't. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it's woo.
Is there a list though? I mean, I don't have any of them. I just know I hated
the ones that I wrote down in my solo playthrough. Like all of these occurred at least 5 times while I was on my solo playthrough, and this is the list that I had to start writing them down because it was so irritating. Playing as Van.
Who's Van? Which one
Van is Crossbow Twink.
It's the Crossbow Twink.
Yeah. So his repeated voice lines on trap placement, no less, were, and yet they still come barefoot. They never expect anything from the ceiling. Floor traps, key to any good strategy. Maybe Sophie's right. There's a beauty in death. This should be fun to watch.
I hate
a gift from the heavens.
Classic.
All of this.
A barricade will keep them out. I keep getting better. And the orcs? Well, they don't. No kill box is complete without wall traps. Okay, Mac, putting that theory to the test.
You really wrote down a lot for having... I mean, there is a lot, though, yeah.
There is a lot, but this was over the course of like a 45-minute playthrough. And like, I want to say like, there was at least like 3 times in a row where I was putting down a lava trap and he was saying, and yet they still come barefoot. I'm like, yes, I got it. You said it the first time. Please. So maybe there's something to be said about the amount of voice lines that each character has.
Counterpoint though, StarCraft, give me something to shoot.
Yeah, see, that's like
1,000 times, but that's still badass and amazing.
Maybe there's someone who's just playing this for the first time that they are also an impressionable 10-year-old. They're like, wow, this cat with a bloodlust for death is really cool. I really love it when she says, fired up. Or
I mean, we were referencing work, which is from a line that a guy says over and over and over and over in a game from 25 years ago.
Now, part of it's probably nostalgia. Slamming. Yeah, but another part, it's number one, there's 2 main things. Like, yeah, the writing has to be like, decent. Also just the raw variety when you're playing those strategy games, like each character has a lot of lines. They say quite a few things, and they're not so they're also like mixed a little bit better. Like, it's not necessarily registering in your brain every time a peon says work. Or every time a Marine says, you want a piece of me, boy? Or get me out of this chicken shit outfit. I remember as a kid, another part of it also is nostalgia. When I was a kid, I was like, yo, shit. Just like in one of my favorite movies, Aliens. James Cameron's Aliens.
They do bleep it, though.
They do. I guess that's true. Yeah. I think, and the biggest, the fact that there's so many lines is great, but like you hear them way too often, and it's very in your face and very Marvel quippy, and alas, it's just time has passed, and that's not that ain't it, Chief.
You know what the problem is? 1, yes, they're smarmy, and 2 is they mostly occur when you're not really doing anything else.
So you can't help but notice it and hear it.
So you're just like, a full like third of my attention is listening to them say this dumb line again. Versus if you're playing StarCraft, you've got like 0% of your brain available to like process voice lines because your brain is being used 110% on like Zergling macro or Zergling micro versus
yeah. And let's not forget the great Zerg lines. Like,
I mean, that's the thing is like I'm thinking like, well, now all of my memories are suspect now that I can't remember what the fucking soundtrack is, but I'm pretty sure I have like all the Zerg lines memorized from StarCraft 2.
Hear me, my child, with my mouth, and know that I am the Overmind.
Like, if you played me a list of like StarCraft 2 units, I could tell you what move or what unit it is and what action it is doing. Like, oh, well, that's the attack hydralisk noise.
What about if you say so, sir?
It's a siege tank.
No, that's a vulture, actually.
What's a vulture? Well, that's
no. Will, you're wrong. He says, I'll read you, sir.
One of many. And
I'm talking about StarCraft 2.
I don't know if what I said was accurate. I just completely made that up just in case I was wrong. Yeah. Therefore, it might.
What about this one, guys? Guess this one. This is Jimmy. Who is that?
No idea.
Yeah,
Tychus Finley,
iconic
battle cruiser.
It's an art.
Oh yeah, we love that. We love the
Engage.
battlecruiser operational.
Corsair.
We're getting really off topic.
When are we gonna cover? Well, it's just like we are driven to talk about games with better characters,
and yet they still come barefoot.
Oh no.
We should just review.
I say we
StarCraft
set a
1.
course for ratings.
Yeah, StarCraft has a roguelike mode at some point, right?
And
There's gotta be a custom
yeah.
map that has a roguelike mode.
Can we review
Ratings?
that one? I mean, technically, every time you spawn in, you're in a different location. So roguelike, I don't know.
It's a video game. Roguelikes are video games, so Rogue was a video game. There you go. What more do you need? The bar is way down there.
I mean, we played Stacklands. All right, so we know the bar's low. Dot age, yeah.
Well, I'm willing to pull some editorial authority for games on the spectrum. The spectrums are what make things much like a spectrum of light very beautiful. Hey, speaking of beautiful things, how about the numbers that we have attached to the game?
I was going to say like a spectrum, like a rating system. But instead you said,
speaking of spectrums, let's look at beautiful numbers.
Yeah,
talk about some brains.
So I'm guessing that will perhaps be starting us off if we're going lowest to highest.
What? No, that's not how we do it.
Oh,
I can hear the knuckle cracking from here.
Oof, oofda.
It's actually, you can't. It's being muted by Crisp or whatever.
There was some cracking there. But Scott, you had something you wanted to say, or did you, or are we good to go into?
We're good to go, I think.
Dunking.
But of course, Scott, yeah, who's gonna kick us off?
Jacked up and good to go.
I think it's Will.
Yeah, Will's gonna start us off with rankings.
Over the course of talking about this game, I demoted it by a full point because I had it at 6.5, and then I realized
that's a recommend.
That gets into the recommend. Yeah, above 6 is a recommend, and I cannot do that. So 5.5 is where this one's going to end up for me. And this is, as we've discussed, primarily driven by my hatred for all the characters and all of their annoying properties, for the cartooniness of all of the enemies, and it's hard for me to, even if the rest of it, as Colin pointed out, is amazing, and if you just reskin this all with something that isn't annoying, I might enjoy it. I can't get over the pain I'm inflicted by the all the little quips and all the little annoyances. By the fact that this one character has a wrench that's a sniper rifle. How is a wrench a sniper rifle? It doesn't make any sense at all.
It's magic.
What are you reloading?
Magic.
What are you shooting? Magic?
Orc skulls.
Okay.
You're both shooting at them and with them.
Why does this bear speak perfect English?
It's crunched. Your bullets are made out of ground up orc skull.
All right. Well,
I mean, I don't think that's actually true, but
that reminds me of that Doom gun where like you reload it by putting the skulls in like the grinder thing.
That would have been much better than this, but unfortunately,
yeah. One character that was that. Like one character is Doom guy, and all the rest are exactly the same.
That would be pretty funny.
He's like in the mix, pulling their heads off and grinding them up.
So
right, continue.
5.5. That's where it's gonna land for me. Sorry about that for the people who love this game, but yeah, I just make better characters, please. Please make better characters. Make adult. When I say adult, I just mean like non things that are not meant for 10-year-olds. This game is meant for 10-year-olds. That is the problem.
I'll go next. I think my criticism throughout this episode was pretty biting, so maybe I'll keep my bad points a little short and to the highlights here. I think it feels so painfully generic that like there's just nothing for me here to grab onto, and it kind of feels like it wants to have its cake and eat it too, of like, oh, well, like, yeah, don't worry about the story, but at the same time, like, I don't know, here's all, like, this stuff happening that makes it kind of feel like there was a story, but then they just kind of, like, I don't know, like, phoned it in for 4 years. Like, if I was, like, a big Orcs Must Die franchise fan, I feel like I would be, like, really disappointed by this release. And even if it was, I was shocked that this game was not released in early access. But even then, I don't know how much of that would fix it. my bullet point line here. Give me the most generic fantasy game setting you have. That's kind of the feeling that I get from it. I feel like that if this game was like a $10 add-on to like Orcs Must Die 3, maybe that feels a little more justified. $30 feels a little steep for what we're getting here, to be honest. I think I picked it up on sale for 20. That feels maybe a little more palatable, but still, boy, I don't know. I feel like everything that this game is doing, Vellum did better. Didn't have annoying voice lines like that was another game that felt kind of like also weirdly generic, but at the same time, like they had a bit and they stuck with it of like everything is book puns, and yeah, it got like annoying after a while, but like it's different. It's something different. But okay, that all that to be to the side. I've already spent 60 minutes taking a fat dump on this game. The goods here. The music in this game I think is very good. I think the technicality of the art here is also very good. I think all the characters have like a lot of very good detail to them. I think there's a lot of like very, very good environmental art design here. Like all the stages feel unique and interesting. Like
you could run into a table and it would just immediately blow up. That's true.
That's true. Some levels have like really cool looking like big telescopes.
Classic fantasy archetype. It's in every game, honestly.
Some levels have like, you know, dark deep sewers to them, and like I felt like interested to like jump around and look at stuff. Like it was very interesting to look at. And I liked the mission design as you progressed through it of like, oh, it's getting like progressively more challenging. The final mission having 2 points that you had to defend instead of just one, I thought was a neat twist to it. And like the boss fight, I was kind of on the edge of my seat a little bit. I was like, okay, yeah, this feels like a proper boss fight that I had to think about, and it felt like a good tense situation. But that all being said, I think like maybe I just need to take some more bong rips and just like put my feet up and just be like, yep, let's just go and throw some mine carts at some monsters. And if that's what this game is designed for, that's great. I don't know if that's exactly what I was looking forward to get out of it for myself.
And what was your number? Sorry, again, one more time.
Yeah, I threw a number on here. For me, it is a gosh, where did the tab go? It is a 5.9, just barely behind Rogue Tower. I think Rogue Tower is a better tower defense game. Even though I dumped a lot on Rogue Tower's like UI and functionality, Rogue Tower is also designed by one dude and who did all the music and like everything versus like a big studio team
of
artist. People. And so I think that carries it a little bit more. I think Orcs Must Die Deathtrap being like a 0.1 higher than Rainbreaker kind of like sets a similar tone of like, there's cool stuff in here, there's just nothing done with it. And if it was like more fleshed out, like, yeah, I could be totally on board with like, all right, yeah, let's go kill the other bosses here. Let's see what happens. But like the fact that you beat a boss and like nothing is acknowledged and that feels like, yep, congrats, go grind some more. I'm just like, nah.
Before we get to Andrew, sorry, Scott, it doesn't actually make it so that there's 2 rifts on that last level. That was just randomly chosen. You could have that on any level. Oh, that could be the first level. So sorry, it's actually worse than you thought.
Let me just subtract another 5 points off there.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll go next before I think it's fitting that Colin should wrap up this pod rating section. Hey, Colin's friends. You've maybe never listened to the show before, so you might not know that originally this podcast had a ranking system.
Every time
it gets stack rank, and so my numbers were just to try to fit it into an order because I thought we were doing, number 1 to number whatever. So my numbers are totally whack, and honestly, ranking games is silly to begin with. Anyway, 6.33 Andrew points has been scored by Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. That is behind, it's right ahead of Nightmare Reaper because, oh man, I have so many issues with Nightmare Reaper despite liking it so much. And right behind Orcs Must Die Deathtrap is right behind a Rift Wizard, which it occurs to me that Rift Wizard is really well, number one, it's actually a roguelike, and it's like very good game, honestly, and an inspiration because it's made by, I believe, just one person, and of course critically includes a wizard with a purple robe, which we've established is basically the unofficial main character of roguelikedom, of roguelikes, and but it occurred to me that Rift Wizard is really it's a barrier in my ranking system. Like it stops a lot of games from ascending any higher. And honestly, I should probably raise Rift Wizard in my ranking system. But anyway, you know what Rift Wizard is not? It ain't a shooting game. And this game is a shooting game. And we need to talk about the shooting a bit. It was mentioned the wrench. That's a little weird. That's a little strange, but I appreciate, that this game, it has a lot of inventive gun ideas. There's some neat animation work with how like the twink bow crossbow is reloaded, and like the character, like he like teleports like a new magazine like into his hand and then like puts it into the chamber, which begs the question, why doesn't he just teleport it directly into the chamber, eject the old one, teleport it right in? Same thing with Harlow. She should be, just teleporting those directly into the gun. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that this is a shooting game, and there are some critical shooting mistakes being made. This obviously is very, shallow and just purely an aesthetic thing that I'm talking about, the teleportation of the ammunition. But it's a good jumping off point to discuss how the breakable objects in this game, having breakable stuff in a shooting game, very important. The breakable objects are terrible. This is the third game, and they look god awful. You bump into a table, it explodes into too many pieces. It breaks the basic laws of existence.
And it's just running
these tables.
You're not even rolling. In Dark Souls, you roll.
Or you're gonna roll. Yeah, you bump into this table, it explodes into more pieces than existed in the original table. And this is the worst part of this. The worst instance of this is that there are some bow and arrow targets on one of the levels. You shoot those, and it just explodes into a million pieces. It looks slow, sloppy, and you might think this is inconsequential, but it speaks to a bigger problem. There's some issues with the shooting, and the most the best / worst example of this is in the gore system. You get some good decapitations, you get some good jibs, some good gibs, depending on what side of the Mississippi you're from. You might pronounce it differently. But the gore system at times so often feels so unmotivated. Like you fire into a squad, into a group of orcs, and oftentimes like they'll just separate into 5 pieces. Like, and there's the torso, there's the limbs, and there's the head. And it's unmotivated. Like I didn't see my actual projectiles hit them in those specific places, and it's not going to work. And in a game where half of it is shooting, the shooting needs to be good. It needs to be satisfying. It's a little bit satisfying, but it ain't that satisfying. And as a result, I mean, as Will said in the previous episode, that this game is going to be limited by that. If you don't fix your gore and your destructible terrain in a shooting game, you're not going to get above a 6.33 of meaningless points in this horrible rigged system that we have. Hey, one last thing, Colin's friends, we'd love to have you on the episode. If there's a level, pardon me, not a level. Don't come talk about this game, please. But if there's another game, roguelike.
I mean, Joe has been on this podcast. He was on for Monster Train.
Oh yeah, sure enough. Yeah, someone with actual credentials. Thank goodness. Which hopefully we'll be having one of those coming up soon. Anyway, 6.33 Andrew points.
I'll wrap us up. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because it was fun to play with my other friends.
Fun.
My brain has just zeroed out the story and aesthetic aspects, and I'm only playing it for the goofs. I am playing it as maybe not smoking, ripping fat bong rips as I'm playing it, but for the same sort of like just casual game.
Colin, you hate weed, right?
I don't hate weed.
You can't answer.
I just
don't answer that question on this podcast, by the way. I
have no problem with other people smoking weed. I just don't enjoy it that much. But no, I mean, I could probably enjoy this gameplay while having partaken a bit. But No, I think it's just a fun game. I'm definitely giving it a higher score than if I were coming to this cold, uh, I actually knocked a couple tenths of points off once you started comparing it to Vellum because I was like, ugh, is it better than Vellum? I really didn't like Vellum. I probably shouldn't like this game. If this game and Vellum were swapped, in terms of like me playing it with other people, I might have a different feeling about it. So I don't know. For very specific circumstance, I think it'd be a fun, goofy time where you're blowing some stuff up. And if you think it's too easy, you can raise the difficulty to like a pretty customizable level. Uh, you know, could it be better if when you shot them, they were just like guts and gore falling out, such that you had to actually like position your barricades so that the mounds of their corpses didn't pile up and they could walk over it. I mean, maybe it would be a better game, but it'd be a different game for sure. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't have too much like strength behind that score, but I have had a fun time playing it, so I'll leave it at that.
And
all right, so stay tuned to our Omega Bowl episode where this game will be starring. Wow, boy.
Where we go through all the Orcs Must Die games in sequence.
Where we execute this game on as it's thrown off of the spire.
We
haven't said that.
Someone did mention Slay the Spire earlier, I'm pretty sure.
It's a Slay the Spider like.
Oh, there we go. Thank God.
But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for that. Similar games, so, like this game, I also will give it a little bit of credit for being unique because trying to find some similar games to this was a challenge because there's not like any first person shooter like tower defense rogue games. Like this is a unicorn in that regard. But so I had to kind of split this out between like what are some other tower defense games, what are some other like co-op shooters. And tower defense we got I don't think this game is specifically roguey, but it gets compared a lot with this game is Dungeon Defenders. One person was very adamant about sending us Steam keys to Gnomes, the tower defense gnome game, which I have played. Thank you, listener, for sending us that. I did play with it some. That game is pretty fun, gotta say. There's Dungeons of the Endless, which is it's a top-down multiplayer tower defense game that had a very abysmal sequel launch, so maybe also similar in this sense. There's a game, Castle of the Alchemists, that looks more kind of like top-down shootery in a way. And then our previous episodes on Rogue Tower, we talked a little bit about, and The Last Spell, I guess I will lump in there as well. Co-op shooters, there's been actually a pretty decent number of ones that have been coming out in that space, which is interesting. There's Sentry, which seems interesting, but maybe a little under people's radar. Recently released to much critical acclaim was Jump Space, which is like a 4-player FTL FPS roguelite ? It's very, very interesting. Stay tuned for that for sure. There's if you thought this game was lacking furries, search no further than Gunfire Reborn, where you got your furries, you got your scalies, you got everything.
All right, so check it out. Gunfire Reborn, fun game, good game. After the ridiculous takes y'all had last episode on like a very accessible and like good by the numbers classic FPS experience, there ain't no way. It was at the very top of my list, Gunfire. Ain't no way I'm picking that because y'all ain't gonna appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, no, it's a pretty good game. Unfortunately, so friend of the show, Helen, pointed out that here's a problem. Here's the big problem, actual like objective problem with Gunfire Reborn is you need to be fluent in Google Translate in order to understand this game. Not so much using Google Translate, but like understanding what the text is trying to say, because the localization is not so good.
Yes, definitely a game that looks fun to play, but maybe
negative
not
stay
so
tuned
fun.
and a half.
Well, Andrew, you might be interested in this game. I think it's probably either by a solo dev or a very small team called Knights Within that I've been watching development progress on. That is a co-op medieval gun shooter game that I guess you are like medieval knights with fully automatic weapons or something. I played the demo of it on one of the Steam Next Fest. I'm like, I have no idea what this is, but I'm sickeningly curious.
Interesting.
So that one
Very
for
power
sure.
metal. Yeah, cool.
And then there is a game that I guess technically falls into this category called Muck, which is like what if Minecraft but more sort of roguey and developed as a meme by a popular YouTuber. It's one of like the top 10 most popular rogue games ever because I think largely because it's free to play. But maybe that is more of a like a radioactive type game that like maybe like only break glass in case of emergency. Um, Gotta get those like and subscribe numbers up. Previous episodes for co-op shooters, everyone's favorite Risk of Rain 2, that I remember everyone having a blast for.
Yeah.
Our Vellum previous episode that we talked a lot about. Dead Zone Rogue, our exact previous episode to this one. Oh, and I guess two more under the co-op shooters that I didn't list, but these are more kind of on the very edge of the spectrum. Deep Rock Galactic, obviously. How did we forget to talk about that? But more to the point, like Deep Rock Galactic is having an actual rogue style experience, designed from the ground up to be rogue first, with Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core, that is in one of those TBD forever states that
They just called it Deep Rogue Galactic.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean it was right there. What were they thinking? But maybe for branding purposes, and all that the juicy SEO. But yeah, I think that's gonna wind down our Orcs Must Die Deathtrap episode. And SEO, yeah, you can find all of our very carefully and crafted SEO material at the website grogpod.zone. I'm on a mission to try to do as much Caves of Cud posting as I can on our Mastodon, grogpod@gamedev.place. And you can send emails to us. Again, there's that Simpsons bit of Ringo Starr like slowly typing out all of his responses to the thousands of letters that he gets over time. And he's like, it's a tough job, but I'm gonna get to every one of these stacks of letters that I possibly can. Sometimes it feels like that when I'm replying to emails that people send me like 8 months ago. I do see them, I do read them. Sometimes I'm just like, that Ringo Starr. I gotta go watch that Ringo Starr video. grogpodzone@gmail.com. You can send in all of your Orcs Must Die, Deathtrap feedback there. But as I just spoiled it, our next episode is not just one episode. It is two big episodes.
1.5.
On possibly the biggest traditional roguelike that we will probably ever cover on this program. Long time coming, long time in the making. Caves of Cud is our next one.
Cud. Yeah, here we go. And fellas, don't feel too much pressure, but like we will be run out of the genre if we don't give this a good score. Like, so fellas, do your
So I give it a
homework.
2.
5 out of 10, yeah. So what we're doing is we're breaking this up into two parts to avoid another Elden Ring Night Ring scenario of a 4-hour long super pod that no one is going to listen to. So two parts. First part will be dedicated to the soundtrack and the story of the main quest of Caves of Cud. So there's a lot to cover here. We're not going to cover everything. It will be very spoilery, but up to a point, and the ending with a capital E will not be spoiled. So don't feel that you will have your whole experience ruined, just most of it. But I will say this, that like even hearing all of the story, there's so much to it that if you're just like, okay, yeah, I know how Dune is, sure, whatever, and then you go see Dune in IMAX and you're like, no, nothing could have prepared me for it. That's kind of what I'm trying to hype up here. So we're doing a hype up episode that will I will try to get it produced and out a week from now. But if you're like, you know what, I don't want any spoilers, I just want to hear the standard Grog Pod format that I love so much and I'm so used to, that'll be in our standard 2-week from now time frame. And that'll just be like the usual gameplay, all that good stuff type thing. So maybe more focused on the gameplay instead of the story or soundtrack. But the story soundtrack one will be more kind of like how we've done the Music Fest episodes in the past. So we'll be listening to a really great soundtrack by Craig Hamilton, who did a great job with that. We'll be listening to or looking at all of the story stuff that won not only the Indie Game Fest Award for 2025, but a Hugo Award for 2025 for writing. So there's a reason why. So
we will not be judging it on that podcast. We will be judging it on the second one, on the gameplay alone.
Yes, so that it'll be a numbers-free, more just kind of like me just expositoring out onto Colin and Andrew with, stay tuned, a special guest. So do stay.
And maybe Will if he decides to join us.
Oh, well, actually, that was accurate.
Special guest, Will.
Will loves the sound of Nightmare Factorio with very loopy sounds in the background. But anyway, yeah, next episode, Caves of Cud, 2-parter. Yeah, stay tuned. But to play us out from this one will be some tunes for metal shredding tunes that you will shred some orcs with metal traps.